Hi, everybody. I'm Jared Pike. This is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, April 17th. On today's show, we look ahead to tomorrow's radio show performance of Shell Point's own theater, On the Air. We'll visit the Crystal Room's Wednesday night pasta buffet, just one of several special nights it offers every week. And we'll meet Dr. John Moore, a lifelong educator who also served as Deputy Director of the National Science Foundation. And speaking of doctors, we have a note for all the retired physicians and nurses out there. Isn't it nice to talk shop every once in a while with others who have been through what you've been through? Well, we're offering you the chance right here at Shell Point with a Get to Know Your Neighbor event for all lifesavers. Happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. Reminisce about stories from medical school or share about your favorite patients. Whether you were a doctor, a nurse, a missionary doctor, an army medic, paramedic, or any other kind of lifesaver, we want you to be there to meet your fellow residents. Again, this fun social event happens tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. Meanwhile, tonight, do you have dinner plans? Do you like pasta? Do you like getting exactly what you like on your pasta? Well, then have we got the place for you. The Crystal Room's Wednesday night pasta buffet is a sight to behold. An all-you-can-eat, customized buffet of all your Italian favorites, all for just $11.95. I went down to the Crystal Room to check it out. That's right, folks. It's Wednesday night, which means it's pasta night here in the Crystal Room. I'm with Greg Pindara, Dining Operations Manager. And Greg, tell us some of the bullet points about Wednesday night pasta night in the Crystal Room.
We have the salad bar and the soup with the 2 homemade soups. We still have the buffet and then your customized pasta line. That's where you build your own pasta dish to your liking.
That's great. And so all the salad you can eat.
That's right.
All the soup.
Yep.
All the pasta.
And whatever's on the main buffet.
Now, it's not just run-of-the-mill pasta. This is build your own pasta, your own sauces. So let's go see what they have.
You come over here and you pick what vegetables you like in your pasta, which could be the spinach, the peppers, the onion, the tomato, the broccoli, or the mushrooms. Now we move down to a little bit more of the meat items. We have shrimp, pepperoni, sausage, meatballs, turkey. That's where you get your entree.
And they'll grill it up right here.
They're right here. They're cooking it as we're walking. Okay, you can either pick penny pasta, a whole wheat pasta, or an angel hair pasta. So you get your choice there. The next step, and they're still cooking it as we're walking, you pick your marinara, your Alfredo, or your pesto. So you get to pick the sauce that you like. And by the time you get to picking your sauce, you're putting the cheese on, and you're ready to sit down and enjoy a fantastic pasta dinner.
I've chosen some broccoli, some pepperoni, some shrimp, and mixed it up with that and have marinara sauce.
Spinach and peppers and broccoli. I'm vegetarian, so.
Oh, that's good.
So, yep.
But even so, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Right.
And
mushrooms and onions, all the good stuff.
And it all kind of gets that green color.
Because of the pesto sauce.
Yeah. And so it's almost a work of art, I think.
There we go.
It's not just pasta, but you have a lot of other things here on the buffet. Tell me about it.
Well, yes, we do. We always have homemade pizzas that you can get, and there'll be pepperoni and vegetable for those that do not eat meat, and your regular mashed potatoes and gravy, then a combination of fresh vegetables that are cooked. We also have gnocchi tonight, a shrimp gnocchi, which is an Italian dish, and for people that aren't into the pasta, they have the chicken portobello.
And also, we have antipasto.
Beautiful antipasta salad.
And we've got garlic bread back here.
And what they call elephant ears, which is dough that's been deep fried and tossed in cinnamon and sugar for a little bit sweet dessert.
My doctor told me I wasn't getting enough elephant ears, so that's good that they have this on the end of the buffet. And a dessert. Talk about the dessert for a second.
We'll only charge 99 cents for a special Italian dessert. Like tonight, it's spumoni and cannolis. You get both the spumoni ice cream, which is an Italian ice cream of cherry, chocolate, and pistachio, and another Italian dessert, which could be the cannoli, the tiramisu, or the Italian lemon cream cake. So you get both of those for 99 cents.
Spumoni, cannoli, All right, these are all good things, folks. And that's only 99 cents. Finish your meal with an Italian dessert. And you have other special days, too, here in the Crystal Room.
Yes, we do. Monday night is still old home cooking, and that's $9.95. Tuesday night is the build your own stir fry, which is $11.95, and now the pasta night, Wednesday, is also $11.95. But you can also come in on Thursday for the crystal carving board.
Friday is?
Friday is our big seafood buffet.
What's great about this is it's so colorful. Italian night is so colorful. The pastas, the sauces, the vegetables, they're all just a joy to behold on your plate, and of course they're a joy to taste as well. So come on down to the Crystal Room Wednesday nights for the all-you-can-eat pasta buffet. Now tomorrow night is another favorite, the Crystal Carving Board, which will be the perfect prelude to an entertaining evening of dinner and a show as you attend tomorrow night's performance of Spot. Shell Point's own theater has been working hard on its adaptation of old-time radio shows called On the Air. It culminates tomorrow night as they bring their performance to the stage of the Church Auditorium tomorrow at 7:15 p.m. Here's a taste of what you'll see.
Phoebe wanted me to wake you up, but I wouldn't do it.
I just wanted to know if Snooks could come out, Mr. Higgins. It's Halloween and...
All right, go ahead. Shoot, both of you. Go on, get out of the house.
Come on, Snooks, before he changes his mind.
All right. Bye, Daddy. How old are you?
Nobody knows, Portland. I was born before the Decca Company started. There weren't any records in those days.
Mama says last.
Folks, now don't you laugh. Don't start up. If you're going to establish a precedent in here, I want to know about it.
Mama says last year, when the candles on your birthday cake melted down,
Yeah?
there was enough grease to wax the floor at Roseland.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could convey the atmosphere, the background of this fantastic scene. Hundreds of cars are parked in a field in back of us. Police are trying to rope off the roadway leading to the farm, but it's no use. They're breaking right through. The car's headlights throw an enormous spot on the pit where the object's half buried. Some of the more daring souls are now venturing near the edge. Their silhouettes stand out against the metal sheen. Oh, do you hear that? It's a curious humming sound that seems to come from inside the object. Do you still think it's a meteor, Professor Pearson?
I don't know what to think. The metal casing is definitely extraterrestrial.
As the song says, the best things in life are free. The moon belongs to everyone. The best things in life are free. The stars belong to everyone. They gleam there for you and me. The flowers in spring, the robins that sing, the sunbeams that shine, they're yours, they're mine, and love can come to everyone. The best things in life are free.
You'll hear and see radio like you've never experienced it before, with Shell Point's own theater in its performance of On the Air. It takes place tomorrow evening at 7:15 p.m. in the Church Auditorium. It's a free performance, and all are welcome. Now, this month we had a cultural event of another kind in the Resident Activity Center. It was the 2013 Shell Point Photo Show. Now, as you can see, several of the ribbon winners featured compelling portraits of people overseas. Photos taken by new resident Dr. John Moore of Oakmont. But there's a backstory to his travels. John is a lifelong academic, having taught at several universities and even served as president of Grove City College in Pennsylvania. But during the 1980s, he was appointed by President Reagan to be deputy director of the National Science Foundation. Let's learn about John and his academic travels.
I was born in North Dakota, in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and lived there until I was about 3, and then we moved to Montana, then to Denver, and then to Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I finished high school, and went from there to the University of Michigan for my my undergraduate degree in chemical engineering and an MBA. And then I went out to work and went to work for Procter & Gamble in Cincinnati, where after about almost 4 years, I met my wife a little over 50 years ago. And then the itch hit me to go back to school. So I went to the University of Virginia and did a PhD in economics there. And then stayed at the University of Virginia on the faculty for 11 years. And then started my wandering around the country. I was associate director of something called the Law and Economics Center at the University of Miami. And the center then moved to Emory University and moved out west to Stanford University in Palo Alto, where I was associate director of the Hoover Institution, 1982, at the height of the Cold War. And we got involved with some exchange operation that was going to Soviet Union. That was the days when the hotels had floor ladies in them that would keep your key, but were also keeping a watch on you. It was a very different place. So they took us there for some reason to see this dam, so-called Bratsk Dam, that was, is well-known, built with slave labor. So telling a lot of details about its capacity, how many generators they were, et cetera, et cetera. And then afterwards, they took us up to a little overlook where we could look down on the dam. Now this dam, of course, had been photographed, I'm sure, hundreds of times from the air by satellites, by probably U-2s, who knows. And there we were looking over, and there's a little sign that says, "No photographs." That's just an example of the kind of attitude that they were trying to intimidate everybody who came there. And in those days, it really was a pretty closed society. Then I was appointed to be deputy director of the National Science Foundation by President Reagan. And so we moved to Washington, D.C. The NSF is one of the less political agencies in town. It's really quite objective in what it does. It ranges over the whole spectrum, from physics to astronomy to mathematics to biology to engineering. Covers the whole map. And as number two in the agency, I got involved with essentially all of them, one way or another. It involved contacts with people from all over the world and working on treaties between the United States, science and technology treaties between the United States and Japan and China and India. I must say among the highlights of our time there were the senior executive meetings the president would have from time to time, where all of the political appointees were invited, and we could go to these meetings and listen to him talk and tell jokes. Those were real highlights. Sue got to go to some of those too. She actually, I should say, she worked as a volunteer in Mrs. Reagan's press office for about 4 years. She'd go down once a week, spend basically all day in the East Wing of the White House, and had a lot of contact with Mrs. Reagan, actually. She had more FaceTime with the top than I did. Another interesting thing about NSF is that it runs the U.S. Antarctic program. The Antarctic Treaty reserves the use of the continent for scientific research. Exciting work, it's difficult work, it's dangerous work. A lot of very interesting people working in that one. I remember one time I met a woman who was, actually I met her in Antarctica. She was from Ohio State University, and she was one of these people who drills ice cores and get evidence about what the climate was like thousands of years ago by analyzing the chemical content of the ice cores. So she was there, we saw her cores. She had this whole bunch of cores stored, and you didn't have to refrigerate, you just left them outside someplace, and they kept perfectly well. But I asked her, what happens if they melt? And of course the answer is, we got to be very careful about getting them back. And so they fly them back in refrigerated airplanes to Columbus, Ohio, where they had, of course, a refrigerated facility to take them, and then they'd analyze them back in Columbus. Then I got recruited by Grove City College and went to Grove City College in 1996 as president, which is a terrific experience for both of us. It's quite a contrast. I had never been at a small institution. I'd always been in large schools. Grove City College had 2,200 students when I got there. It was situated in a very small town, and we'd never lived in a small town in our married lives. It turned out to be a fantastic place to be for 7 years. Great students, wonderful atmosphere, wonderful Christian atmosphere. The curriculum was rigorous. Stayed there for 7 years. Retired in 2003. Because we moved around so much when I was a kid, I thought that was the way you lived. You just moved around. And I always did want to travel. And Sue always had a strong yen for travel. So we really meshed on that as on many other things. And so we've done a lot of traveling. The most interesting one was the one that she and I made to Antarctica and to the southern polar regions. That was a great trip and quite an adventure. Another one was a birding trip we made up the Tambopata River in Peru, which is a tributary to the Amazon. And we were in a motorized canoe going up this river at one point we spent all day, 8 hours, sitting in this little canoe riding up that river. And I tell you, there's very little civilization around there. If you look down here, you'll see some photo albums. We do take a lot of pictures when we're out on the road. Been doing, I guess, more and more since I've been here, and I joined the photo club, which has been very, very good. It's very helpful to go to the meetings and have people tell you what's good about your pictures and what's bad about your pictures, and so you can try to improve. So I've enjoyed that part, and I was very surprised that my pictures got any kind of recognition, I must say, but very pleased about it. Because I was running that college, we used to have a lot of alumni meetings down here because that's where you go in the wintertime to raise money. And so we'd come down here. And so we did a lot of investigation. And in the end, this was head and shoulders above anything else we saw. So we came here. We've not regretted it for a second. It gets better all the time, actually.
Coming up, we are going over all of today's happenings, followed by your menus and Village Church connections.
Welcome to the Happenings segment. Today is Wednesday, April 17th, and I'm Suzanne Zavada, here with all the events going on at Shell Point today. The day will begin at 7:45 with the men's Bible study group meeting in the Osprey Room on the island. At 9 o'clock, we have Jurassic Travel in the Egret Room on the island. Also at 9, we have the men's match play tennis group meeting out at the courts at the Woodlands. And we have the watercolor group with Phil Hilton meeting in the art studio on the island. At 10 o'clock, the ladies' Bible study will be meeting in the Osprey Room on the island. And at 10:15, the Model Yacht Sailing Club will be out at the Commons Lake at the Woodlands. 11 o'clock is the time for the neuropathy support group meeting in the Oak Room at the Woodlands. And at 11:30, we bring you our Health Connections, Agility and Flexibility, meeting in the Health Club on the island. At 1 o'clock, we have chess taking place in the Library Lounge. And from 1:30 to 3:30, the Model Train Room will be open in the tunnel on the island. At 1:45, we have another Health Connections, Balance and Mobility Training Level 1 in the Health Club on the island. At 2 o'clock, pickleball will take place out at the pickleball court. And at 2:15, the Knitters Anonymous group will be meeting in the Osprey Room on the island. Then at 2:30, Jazz and Stuff will be playing up in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. And at 3 o'clock, the Bible study group will meet in the Community Room of King's Crown. Also at 3, we have a Pilates Stretch Health Connections in the Health Club on the island. And we have the Memory Care group meeting on the 3rd floor craft room of King's Crown. At 4:30, we have indoor bocce taking place in the Health Club on the island. And at 5:45, we have the church choir rehearsal meeting in the choir room of the Village Church. We'll end the day at 7:15 with prayer and praise with Andy Hawkins in the Village Church on the island. Now don't forget that tomorrow is the Shell Point-owned theater performance of On the Air. We hope you have a great day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is a chicken kebab over rice pilaf and zucchini. The dinner special is the pasta buffet for $11.95, and the soup is black bean. In the Island Cafe for lunch, enjoy a turkey and Swiss bacon wrap with fries for $6.95. The dinner special is fried shrimp for $7.95. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill today are swordfish for $15.95 or chicken Florentine for $13.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
It is a pleasure to welcome you to Village Church Connections today, and a real pleasure to welcome Pastor Andy Hawkins, who's joining me. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Andy, we are going to be talking about volunteers.
That's right.
And those of us that work and live at Shell Point know how important our volunteers are, because they help us do ministry, they help us do life care at a level that we wouldn't be able to do without our volunteers.
Absolutely. This is a world of volunteers here.
That's right. Yeah. And we have just begun a new opportunity for volunteers at the Village Church, and we've had a wonderful response.
It has been, yes.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, when I first came, I noticed that all the offices at the Village Church were on the second floor, which is a bit of an issue for our population, as you well know. And we felt that we really needed to be a more welcoming place, that we needed to have a human face when people walked in the door on the first floor, to be able to greet them and to be able to meet the needs of the people that came in, making connections with staff and arranging for them to meet staff, whether they went up to the offices or met them on the first floor in another location. And so we thought that if we could staff this with volunteers, it would make the Village Church a much more accessible place, a place where we can not only get people connected with the staff people that they need to see, but also just to recognize that the Village Church is a welcoming place. And the volunteers were a great opportunity to do that. And we've had, how many showed up for this training?
Well, we had about almost 40 show up for training, and a few that couldn't make it. I think we're pushing 50 as far as the number of people that have said, count me in, I'm willing to help.
Yeah, and those are all people that really love the church and love the Shell Point retirement community, and really want to make a difference and be a bright, smiling face as they enter the Village Church.
And it does make a difference. It just sets a nice tone for people, whether they're from outside the community, part of the community, part of the Village Church family, whoever they are. It sets a nice tone as they come through that front door. Yeah. We are intending to staff the lobby with a volunteer greeter from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon every day, Monday through Friday, and we have already begun.
That's wonderful, isn't it? That's
it started this Monday. We did a training time with all of our volunteers, just talked about what to expect and what to do and how to greet people as they come in. And I think we're all excited about it.
I certainly am excited about it. I think that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
I think so too. And we certainly will learn and grow as we do this over the course of time. But we're so grateful for those that have stepped forward and said, I'd like to be part of this ministry. So people can expect when they come in the front door that there'll be somebody there to say good morning.
That's right.
Good afternoon. How can I help you? And it's all about trying to be as helpful as we can be. If somebody comes in and they know what they need and they're all set, they don't need our help, that's fine too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we are available to assist in any way that we can.
Yeah, certainly if anyone has ever been hesitant to come to the Village Church because it's been difficult to make connections with staff, I think those days are over, I trust, because we're excited about the prospects of making those kinds of connections very easy.
We are, and those that are at that desk have been instructed if somebody would like to meet with you, for instance, they can take contact information and pass that along. We can call and make an appointment, and we have a meeting place set up on that ground level where that appointment can take place if they would prefer not to do the stairs.
That's right. Absolutely.
So looking forward to it. And
so come and see. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today for Village Church Connections.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as Renee Maxwell shares the opportunities available in the Pavilion Auxiliary this summer. We'll also visit the Beady-Eyed Bead Club, who make tremendous jewelry items out of very small building blocks. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, April 17th. I'm Jared Pike, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.